everybody. I am so excited. We are having another Facebook Live. We are celebrating with our incredible medical advisor, Dr. O, women in science, girls in science, no better, time to do this. Then February, this is, Inventors Month. It's Girls in Science Month. It's just really an exciting month. But before I go there, everybody know we moved our, company, and I'm moving into a new place. And say hello to the Pacific Ocean here in the background. I'm still, moving in, but how gorgeous is that view? And it just really, there is something so magical when you are so fortunate to see every day the ocean. So I feel myself blessed, and I see so many of our of our friends are here. I see Denise. Hello, Denise. Maui, Candace. John from Bethel, from East Bethel. Lori. So excited, Jacqueline, and let me bring in our fabulous Dr. Iffie Okoronkwo, known as Dr. O. And here she is.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. How
Hi,
are you?
Ulli. Wow, that view is unbelievable.
It's really gorgeous. And I'm right here in Long Beach where, we're right at the harbor. So this is where all the goods are coming in. And so there's a lot of energy in the place as well, but it just shows how, it's so calm, the Pacific Ocean. But when you go in the water, it's ice cold. It's different than the East Coast where you have warm water, much warmer water when you are in the Caribbean. The Pacific Ocean is cold.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Well, that's not good. I don't think I'd like that.
Well, we shouldn't really go swimming into the ocean because now we know that SPF is really not good for all the plankton in the water. Yes. And the smart thing for human is actually to stay outside the water, which brings us right away into science and skincare. Yes, and we are so happy you are here. You have been our medical advisor now for a couple of years, which have been so instrumental for Pour More. It was so great that you came on board. Thank you. Dr. O, because this month is really about women in science, and you are truly a woman in science, self-made. Tell us a little bit really about your background and, how you got yourself in medical school, through medical school, one of the best in the country, into, a big hospital, even becoming a professor, assistant professor teaching, and then end with us.
Yes, well, I mean, just when I talk about it, I get a little bit emotional because I am literally the American dream. I am it. Yeah. I am the product of the generosity of so many people from when I left Nigeria back where I was born in 1968, fleeing civil war. And the Catholic priests actually hit us and helped us. And I'm Catholic, proud Catholic. And, we went to England. And my mother so cleverly kept her nursing degree. My mother's born in America.
So she's American. Your mom was American.
Caribbean background, but she was born in this country in the South, in North Carolina. And so she kept her nursing degree, and we came to New York. And honestly, my aunt, Connie, who literally just passed away at the end of last month, she took the coats off of her 3 children and gave it to my siblings and I when we came here in the winter. And it's that kind of generosity throughout my life. I've been blessed. I truly have been blessed. From when I was in kindergarten, Mrs. Ann Adler, who was from Mississippi and the most fabulous dresser ever. I think I style myself after her to this day. I was, 5. And she would keep me after school to help me with writing because I had a thick accent and, I didn't know. And And then, I was 12 years at the same school in New York City, and I graduated and I got into Yale, which was like,
Wow.
what's Yale? I was like a fish out of water. My school was very, very small, and it was just super supportive. We were all like, to this day, I still have my friends from when I was in kindergarten and first grade. No joke.
That is
It was that kind
amazing.
of, system. And, it's just such a blessing to just have, they say it takes a village. I wish that young people today remember that no one stands alone. No one has success alone, right? We all climb on each other's backs. We boost each other's up. And that was
Yes.
me. And after Yale, I actually did a little computer science work at Hunter College, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
city college here in New York.
I
I
didn't
worked
know
with,
that.
a
Yeah.
biomedical engineer, and I used to write computer programs from him. And then I got into Cornell, which is here in New York City. And the best part about this, the first day they say, you are our colleagues. What a wonderful welcome. And so I've always
Yes.
been drawn to medicine for this, and I think that's why I was drawn to you. Um, Seriously, there's some people, I mean, we can all say, I want to say, do a shout out if you know what I'm talking about, but like you're at a dinner party or you're somewhere and you just meet somebody and you feel their heart, they just open their heart. And I love that. And what I do, I started off at NYU. Did the pain management team, and I became the head of the complementary medicine because I actually studied acupuncture in China. Long story for another day. And so I was on the acupuncture, the alternative medicine. I was the director there, and that was a wonderful way to teach and to give back. And the thing I love about Pour Moi is that this is about learning how to care for your bodies, which is the essence of what I teach as a doctor. Like my practice is called the Dr. O method. It's not called Dr. O because it's how I do what I do. And it's how I want you to learn how to care for yourself better, right? Anything from, feeling good to looking good. Like yesterday, I gave myself a vitamin D shot, because it's antiviral, helps with pain, helps with wound healing. I have arthritis, just little clues on how to stay well. And the Pour Moi message of just, blending and working in harmony with a world around us is my message.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
we're like
So
a
you
match.
were very early in, understanding acupuncture, self-healing of the body, because, really today, science has started to embrace that part, and it even, started a new branch, which is called regenerative medicine. And it came out of sports medicine, which you also were part of, where literally, we are studying now how the body repairs and renews itself, because it's better than anything else if you can speed up that process. And that at the end is what we are trying to do with Pour Moi, speed up that, outer layer of the skin, that repair and renewal process. So you have a healthier complexion and a stronger, resilient skin. And that is actually flawless, beautiful, ageless, gorgeous skin.
Exactly. And if we can maximize how we interact with our environment, by understanding how the environment changes and how we change with that environment, and the skin, which is our first line of defense. God created this beautiful organ that interacts all the time, 24/7 with the environment. And it shifts.
Yes. I think that, when we think about the skin, and we heard so often, it's our largest organ, pretty much everybody knows it. But what you just said is what a lot of people don't understand yet, that it is a responsive organ, because all our other organ, and you are the doctor, but your heart and everything else needs to live in a complete controlled environment. So when your inside temperature shifts, you're going to die, so, but the skin is, so that's the uniqueness as an organ, that it has to constantly it's responsive, at least the epidermis, the outer layer of the skin. And that's something we really didn't know until the late 60s, starting 70s. And we really haven't understood it until the 21st century. And now all these studies are coming out to the real, big part of how it actually changes. But we are getting already amazing questions. And, Maui
somebody
Chi
asked me when I
was
came to this
just
country, it was
saying-
1968. So just when we were starting to have a better understanding of our dynamic relationship and our skin and how it changes. And it's amazing. Honestly, think about it. This research has been around. It's not like, oh, this is the brand new. This has been around.
Yeah.
And it was really, I mean, it's kind of like the paperclip. When you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so obvious. Why didn't I think of that? Right? It's really what you kind of saw it. You saw the obvious, if you will.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And as you said, academically in science, everybody knew it, but you have to, now retrain everybody of doing skincare different, not by skin type, not by age, not by gender, or, it's literally by the weather you are in, by your surrounding, your environment, and, dressing your skin like you dress yourself. And that's a real shift in thinking. It takes early adapters. It's expensive. It's, it's a very, very different thing. And everybody stayed away until, we made the Dove-in and, really invented these new formulas. It made complete sense to me right away. But as you said, underlying, everybody always knew that this is a better way of how it works. So here, Maui Chichi just writes us, no more smoke in LA. And here is the thing.
Hallelujah.
You cannot see the smoke, but actually in Los Angeles, we have for months and months a smoky environment. It's just that the smoke is not, starts to be invisible for your eyes, but it's still smoky. And if I would go out and would show you, that's why we cannot sit outside on the balcony, because all the furniture would be like, like when your car a car outside in Los Angeles looks after 2 days like you haven't washed it for 2 months. That's how much it settles on it and looks covered. So unfortunately, it's still smoke, but when you look outside, you get fooled like, oh, it doesn't really, it's not that smoky anymore. And then we have here, pour more. That welcomes
wow, look at this. Texas. I love me my Texas.
Yes,
I just
Sarah.
love that state. I don't even know why. You know why I love Texas? Because you call for an Uber and a Ford F-150 pulls up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't love that? I love it. I love it.
So Deb has already a good first question for us, because we want to answer today a lot of questions that you have about Pour More. Why do you not have retinol in products? And the easy answer is we do have retinol in the products. So every day cream has a retinol complex in it. It's an ACE complex that has vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E in it, and vitamin A is the retinol. So we don't have the retinol in it that is prescribed by a doctor, which is the medical grade, which is very different. This is the one that breaks through the skin barrier, gets deep into your dermis, and Dr. O will talk a little bit more about it, and you need a prescription for it, and you cannot really have it during the day. So retinol is worked in a different way for your skin to rebuild collagen and make the skin healthier from inside
more
out.
Elastic and plumper.
What cosmetic does, the retinol has a very different function than the medical grade. The ingredient is used in a little bit of a different way. And so in Pour More, how the retinol is used is to really maximize vitamin C and E as part of that delivery system within the skin, and that helps you to really clean up your pigmentation. As your pigments are in the outer layer of the skin, they break, you get brown spots, you get discolorization, you get also dryness from it. And that, ACE complex, very, very high performing from Europe, a luxury ingredient, targets that in a special way. Dr. O, can you tell us a little bit more about the difference with, medical retinol and cosmetic retinol?
It's a percentage of the strength, exactly what you're describing, really, which is the strength of retinol. But you have to understand, a lot of people don't tolerate retinol. And it's something that you have to add very, very slowly, and you have to build up tolerance to it so that you don't get that healing and so forth. There's certain things, I think, tricks that people don't utilize and they fail as a result. Like, for example, what you mentioned, you should always start taking it at nighttime, right?
Yeah.
And because of its, it can really damage your skin if taken during the day.
Yeah, it gets more sensitive to sunlight.
Precisely, it makes you more sensitive to the UV rays. And it should always be applied to very, very dry skin. I think most people, when we put on our moisturizer, people kind of like that, like damp, dewy feel. And so they put it on, and that should never be done with retinol. So, but it's wonderful.
That's a fantastic call out, Dr. O, because
I always like to give you guys
we should have a moist that it absorbs more. This is like the conventional wisdom that everybody says, but actually you should not.
For this, absolutely you should not. And that's one of the ways to ensure success. One of the ways to ensure success.
With your medical grade retinol that you can rotate in with pour more at night. Exactly. You need a dermatology that prescribes it, that monitors it with you. And, but the retinol that you find in any cosmetic product is not the one that is the medical grade. So it performs in a different way because it doesn't really affect your living cells. It affects, the stratum corneum, which is, cells with no nucleus. We call them dead skin cell. So that retinol is more helping with shedding off a healthy skin turnover. It works in a different way.
That's the key. Cellular turnover, which kind of brings us full circle when you were starting to talk about that process of renewal, right? So, I'm not a dermatologist by trade. I'm not a plastic surgeon by trade, but I am a regenerative medicine specialist. And this very concept of using the own body to regenerate new cells, which we do every day. Imagine every day we have this constant renewal. And that's why it's so important, because this happens at night, right? Our healing, also our memory, so many things happen when we sleep. That's why sleep is so important. And I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes have trouble on the sleep front. So then I worry that I'm not getting healthy. But the sleep is so important. And one of the things we do when we sleep is we heal and we renew. We heal our bodies, we heal our mind, we cement our memory, right? And that's why cramming for tests is bad, because the more you sleep on it, the more you learn. And we regenerate our skin. So it's that shedding that happens when we sleep. And that's why the cream you use at night is critical. You do not want to interfere with this. And people will often say, I use, and it makes sense, right? You say, my skin gets dry. I wake up in the morning, my skin is dry. Well, guess what? God actually wanted it to be dry because it helps with the flaking
it makes
off.
Automatically a little bit drier to shed off.
Automatically a little bit drier. Exactly. So that's why I think one of the things that people fall in love with instantly is the night cream.
Yeah.
Because the game changer.
We just put up your question, but I'm going to put it up in a moment. And I'm actually going to put up the question from Julie saying, when will the night cream be available? Because we are sold out and I am so sorry about it. But the good news is it will come in now in a few weeks. We get a very small batch of the night cream in until we get the big order, but it will be shipped in, and will please sign up for the Pour More emails. It will be literally given to our customers, and everybody's on the email list before we even put it publicly up to the website. We might sell through. We only get 1,500 units, but they are on the way to come. I want also to ensure to everybody, we kind of got into a little bit of crunch time this time with some products, because Pour More is really made completely from scratch. It's an innovative, totally new skincare line. And anytime there is a little bit of a change to be made, we have to go through efficacy testing, safety testing, compliance with the packaging testing. So you are kind of like 9 months out, because you really, all this testing is required in the EU for premium skincare, which Pour More is complete, luxurious premium skincare. And in America, you don't have any of this regulation. So you can just take as an ingredient out, just, run the formula, make the batch, fill it up, and you'll be done in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, 9 months is a really big difference. In the future, we are getting ready much better, much quicker, more effective to it. It's the first time we had to make like a little switch, but you get even, you get the same quality, the same efficacy, the same safety, so there will be, no one will be being upset. Like in some, sometimes you get products, you fall in love, and then you reorder them and you are like, this is not the same product that I ordered. And guess what? You are right. Even they tell you it's the same, they switched something out in the bag. So with Pour More, you get that consistency of quality. And now I'm going to get back. So thank you, Julie, for this answer. Reinsure. I know, use the Pour More Day Cream is a 24-hour day. So it's also good for the night, add in a drop of the raindrops or the smoke alarm drops, all our weatherproof drops bring additional hydration to the skin. But as Dr. O was just explaining, you actually want to have it a little bit drier. So, this is still, very, very good alignment with the natural process. And once the night cream comes, it will be back to be amazing. I feel so bad, and I will make sure we never have this situation again. But here we have now Candice saying, can you prevent and or get rid of brown age spots with diet alone, with using Pour More, or is it inevitable? So Dr. O, what would you say with it? Can diet help? Can Pour More? I'm like a living billboard for it. Which I'm going to explain more, like as you can too, it's the skin self-repair. So what do you think about this question?
Well, this is a great question. I'm not fully sure, but I'm going to do my best. So if we break it down a bit, where does our coloring live in the layers of our skin? It lives at the bottom layer of the top layer of the skin. So the top layer is the epidermis, and it has multiple layers. And the basal layer is where we have the skin with the cells with color, which are called melanocytes, right? And we also know that these cells are activated by the UV radiation, right? And so what we can say is, if you want to minimize the onset of these age spots, dark spots, we need to do a couple of things, two very obvious things. One is protect ourselves from the UVA, UVB light, UVB in particular. And two is keep your skin barrier intact. Keep your skin barrier intact. And, I can't say, oh yes, Pour Moi will help prevent dark age spots. I can't say that, but I can say that the theory behind Pour Moi is to support your skin barrier so that it can stay in this beautiful dynamic dance with your environment. And in doing so, that will maximize the anti-aging effects.
Yeah.
And a bit, right. So, and of course, you're all with the cellular turnover and such. And I have to say, I mean, I haven't done the study, but I see Ulli a lot. And, those hands, I think, tell you the story of age spots. We see in the hand that has been untreated, the inevitable process of somebody who, particularly from Austria, right? So we are talking no melanocytes, right? Right. And so weirdly, weirdly, melanocytes actually offer some protection too. That's why, women and men of color, people of color, tend to have less of a bad reaction to UVA and UVB light versus someone who is Austrian. So I would say that, your hands do tell the story of enhancing that skin barrier combined with protection against the effects of the sun is probably your best bet. And Pour Moi is designed to enhance the skin barrier.
Yes, because we can go a little bit, we have like a really great graphic here that I'm trying to find that we can put up to really show our full range of day creams. And, you can see, we'll have to actually put one of the, let's see where we are. We are having to put the question off so we can see all the different creams. It should work now. And, we have 4 day creams for humid climates, and we have 4 day creams for dry climates. And there is a 4-tier approach to our climate defensive, skincare that is climate smart and anti-aging and specific to the environment you are actually in. And it starts all out with the foundation, which are the bases. And the bases create a shield in the skin. And we are creating this shield with our, for all the bases, which make the right kind of raw materials to allow the shield, which is our, hyaluronic, our geoadaptohydra D complex that forms a smart shield in the skin that it's thinner in a humid environment, allowing to take advantage of the humidity, has cooling actives in it, to really support the skin, to help the skin master heat and humidity, in the summer and in environments where you have this, tropical environments. And in the cold, dry winter, there is a thicker shield building, moisture shield in there that, as you said, strengthens the barrier, lies on the barrier, protects the surface from the elements, from, cold, heat, wherever, completely customized to, and then give you the adaptogenic ingredients, which we have on top for, in green, which are the ingredients specific for the local climate, antioxidants, special kinds of algae that we have. Like as an example, in our marine day cream, we have a Japanese algae that protects you from the reflection of light, because when you have the clouds, they actually maximize, UVB and UVA. So photo aging is maximized and it increases your protection against that reflection of light from a water source, to, having, butters in there for frosty summit and polar that comfort the skin in a very cold environment. And then in red, we have the long-term benefits of, as I was saying, that's the vitamin A, C, E complex that gives you the long-term benefits But a lot of people say, let's just switch the skincare. I take a different cream in the summer and I take a different cream in the winter. If it's not formulated to work like in a system, then the ingredients, there's 4,000 different vitamin C's out there. If they're not meant to work, you have to start all over again. You lose that long term that you have built up with that ingredient strategy first. But now you have a different delivery system because the base is thicker or thinner. So you need, so that's with Pour More. It's the only skincare that is, created as a system. So you can dress your skin according to the weather.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a perfect explanation. And, these, I always try to think of how do you describe the skin barrier optimally? Because it's so complex, So, we talk about the shield, which I love, right? That image of your skin cells on top, the corneocytes, and the lipids as the mortar between the cells, right? But the thing is that it's also it shifts water out of your body and into your body, depending on what the state of the water is outside of your body. Remember, we are constantly, our skin is in a dance all day, whether we're aware of it or not, with the environment all day. So if it's very dry out, hello, Minnesota, cold and dry, right? And we have moisture in our body, our moisture is going to be pulled out of our skin to the environment because everything, it's like from acupuncture, balance, the yin yang, everything is to be in balance. So the amount of water inside should equal the amount of water outside. So it's constantly changing. But obviously, that's not good for us. We don't want to lose our moisture to the environment. And that's where the shield comes in. Because we understand that in cold environments, certain things happen to the skin. Like, the cells shrink, like they get cold and they shrivel up. Well, if they shrink, then there are cracks that start to form, right? Also, the mortar, the lipid, right? The fat between the cells, it also gets cold. So think about what happens when you put oil in the refrigerator. It gets hard.
Yeah.
Right. And remember, it too is responsible for taking the temperature, so to speak, of the environment. So it can decide how much water we need. And when it gets like that, all frigid, it stops doing its job.
Yeah.
So it doesn't regulate well. Do you see?
Yeah, no, it needs help. And today in the 21st century, we can provide that help.
Exactly. And so that's why it's perfect. The system is perfectly responsive to how our body is already responding. So it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
I have been told now that it's called climate adaptive. It's coming as a big trend. So when we do this in 2 years, Dr. O, we'll say we know already we are the pioneering brand. We won Time Magazine Invention of the Year. Our patents are in the National Library of Medicine for scientific relevance, which is really a big deal. It's very unusual for cosmetics. Pour More is based on real science that is, we have carefully studied on thousands of people. We kind of monitored as much as possible, the process to really get the best possible products out to our customers. And that's, I think, why we almost have 10,000 5-stars. For a small company like us, really an amazing achievement. But here, Marie has a very good question for you. This is a really good question for a smart doctor like Dr. O. You want to read the question, Iffie?
Yes. So my fiance has psoriasis and wants to know if he can get cancer with it or from it. Now, have you guys heard of psoriasis? Right. So psoriasis, actually, there's commercials about it, right? And they show actually Cyndi Lauper. Do you
Oh,
know Cindy, like, right?
no, I know that girls want to have fun when it comes to Cindy
Exactly. So
Lauper.
Cindy Lauper, I think she is one of the faces of,
Oh, good for
yes,
her.
I know, right? So psoriasis is a little atypical in that it is an autoimmune disease.
Oh, wow.
Do you
Okay.
see? So autoimmune diseases is when your body starts attacking your own cells. It gets confused. So let's say, for example, you have a virus and your body says, oh, virus, I don't like you, and I'm going to attack you and get rid of you. That's how our body works. And that's, how God made
It's
it.
the
So it's
normal
perfect
way.
and we love it. But sometimes imagine that happens in your body and you were really, really sick and it starts attacking this virus. And then it accidentally starts attacking other things. That's auto self immune, meaning your system that's designed to fight infection starts fighting yourself.
Oh,
Autoimmune diseases,
yeah.
okay? And
Makes
there's
me
a
crazy.
whole bunch of them, right? People have heard of lupus and, you know, multiple sclerosis. I mean, there's so many of these. In fact, some people even think that a lot of cancers in general have this inflammation and might be autoimmune. Anyway, but so psoriasis is an autoimmune disease. And so and so what does it do? So your body starts attacking itself. And what happens with the skin, it's that, we were talking about the cell turnover. The cell turnover
Mhm.
is really, really healthy. But in psoriasis, it goes out of whack. It goes like cray. It starts going all over the place. And so that's why you see that shedding, constantly shedding, and that dry skin, right, all the time. And that sort of classic silver scaly skin. So that's not good. Now, in terms of can you get cancer from it or with it, I am not your fiance's doctor. And so I am not giving any medical advice, but it is my understanding that in general, people with psoriasis are at increased risk of developing certain cancers. In fact, I have a patient with psoriasis who did develop a lymphoma, and that's one of the most common cancers that may develop. So, and that has nothing to do with the skin, just so you know. That's just the autoimmune thing going attacking. Okay, so yes, I think it's important to know that. I think, it's kind of like,
So, what
um,
advice would you give Marie for her
mm,
fiance? Should he go back to the doctor and really?
always. Yes, I always say this, I did this YouTube thing on like weight loss, and people ask me so many questions, and I realized, do they talk to their doctor? Or does the doctor talk to them? So yes, you have to have an open relationship with your doctor and say, look, I'm worried about cancers. We got to stay on top of this. So, with your regular testing, you should always test for all of the labs, particularly the white cells and all the cell labs that can be associated with those sorts of cancers. And there are many others. So I think expressing your concerns to your doctor and saying, hey, I'm putting you on notice. I want you to take extra good care of checking the most popular cancers I need to worry about. And also being
That's
in touch
great.
with your
Great
body.
advice.
Thank you. No, but
Yes.
I wish your
How often would you
fiance the
say,
best.
give her like every 6 months, once a year, at least run it, on
Well,
average, what would you
so
say?
the nice thing is that there are markers. There are markers in the blood to evaluate the activity, how severe the disease is. So your doctor can take a look at these markers. And it's very important. You know what? I have this expression because people are like, I don't like to take drugs. I don't like to take medicines. I always say, don't make the pill bigger than the problem. Take the pill. You got to get rid of the problem because the problem is destroying your body on the inside. So you got to get under control. So take the medicines, get the situation under control as best you can. And then, healthy
And
diet,
observe it
anti-inflammatory
and have
diet.
yeah.
Right.
So I hope, Maria, this helped you in giving
Yes,
you
and
a
I
little
hope that
bit.
your gets well and stays well. And remember, he's more vulnerable. His skin barrier is not healthy, not healthy. So protection with SPF is even that much more important, which goes away every 90 minutes. So tell him Dr. O says. Oh,
So we have here from Kathy, I was ice fishing by Canada last week when the air temperature was 31 below with a wind chill of minus 47. Oh my God, Kathy, you're my new
Crazy.
hero. And the Frosty Summit with raindrops really saved my skin. No dryness or windburn. Oh my God, thank you. You know what? I'm going to take a screenshot of this because, we spent such a long time. Iffie, smile. You're going to be on camera.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, Kathy. This is, that's wonderful to hear.
is
Yes,
wonderful.
that's what it was designed for. Because when you go ice fishing in minus 31 degrees, with the wind being, making it minus 47 degrees, the regular polar doesn't work. You need to put an extra coat on, and that's wonderful. Thank you, Kathy,
so
for sharing.
beautiful. It's amazing. I'll tell you, that Frosty Summit is something else. And those raindrops, I mean, I saw somebody else in the notes saying that they use the raindrops a lot. I use the raindrops a lot because, in the winter, where I sit is that dry heat, right? So I don't have like the old-fashioned radiators, moist heat. It's like that dry blowing heat, in the hospitals, in my office. And so I use the raindrops every day in the winter,
That's good.
regardless of the humidity level for me, because I know where I'm going to be,
Yeah.
And so if you're going to be in that environment, with like you, I, 100% use it all the time.
So the raindrops have, as you know, repelidium in it, which is a probiotic ingredient and has clinical studies that, to the right percentage that we have it in there. That's where the studies were confirmed its efficacy. It increases within, one application, 227% of your ceramides in the skin. So it doesn't only create hydration, it keeps the hydration. It creates lasting hydration because the lipids are rebuilt. And then, what really is the problem with the lipids is because it's inside dryness, the dry environment, it literally kills off the good bacteria, the beneficial bacteria, and it, promotes the bad bacteria. So that, as you were talking before, gives cracks in your skin, creates that cycle of dehydrated skin. And clinical studies have shown that it, immediately starts helping to rebuild the good bacteria, the beneficial bacteria, 2.3 times. So it really moves you toward a healthier complexion and, and for really hydrated skin. So the raindrops, to add them, just one drop, elevates any skincare routine you have.
You know what my favorite days are? And tell me anybody else who's loved these days. When I do my drop finder on the website and I get to use all the drops, I'm like, oh, I love it. That's my favorite day because it gives you this glow. It's crazy. Like my patients who've known me for years, he goes, because I was just telling him, I can't believe I'm turning 60 this year.
I cannot believe it either.
Pause. Okay. That was my heart stopping. And he's like, he's known me for almost 10 years. And he's like, I look younger now than when he met me. And he's convinced. And I think it's the evenness of going back to, I think it was Kathy's question before about the brown spots.
Yeah.
Because once you block them from forming, and we know that we are regenerating, so it can clear your skin over time, over the years. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And we have here Caroline asking, can I temporarily use the day cream at night? Yes, you can, Caroline. You'll get great results, and the night cream is right behind you. And here's Maria, she's following up and said, I had 2 biopsies on different areas of my skin 2.5 weeks ago, and they came out benign. Yay, that's a good thing.
Oh, hallelujah.
Maria, please text us and we send you some goodies from Pour More just to celebrate with you that you are okay. So we're gonna get you a gift bag. That's how wonderful, that's how happy we are that you are okay. I
Yes.
have had melanoma in my immediate family, so I was very glad of no cancer. We
Wow.
too.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's so scary. Sorry you had to
Yes.
go through that.
But you know, you
What a
did the right
wonderful
thing. You
result.
went to the doctor, got tested, and as doctor was saying now, be very careful. You know, avoid in the summer. You know, doing the 11 to 3 or something with extreme heat and sun.
Yes.
Just spend less time outside during that time. There is a lot of common sense rules that are really good. And we are coming to one more question here. I had a couple spots frozen. Oh my God,
Oh,
Rachel.
wow.
Thanks for the cold. So that's why you need the Frosty Summit and put a raindrops with it. So Rachel, can you tell us real quick what you used on your skin when you got some frozen spots? Because
Oh,
it
I
was
don't know if you meant that you
really
had spots that were taken off and frozen off by the dermatologist. Is that what you mean, Rachel?
No, I think with cold when ice fishing, in the
Oh,
Midwest and everything else. I
oh
think she
my
might not have
goodness.
had,
Oh,
and
that's
from
crazy.
freezing there. But let us know, Rachel, what it is. So we want to do some giveaways. I made a big promise because I always get so in the conversation that we forget about it. So we have 3 winners for 3 day creams of your choice. And here is the question. What specially today of Dr. O, what medicine is she practicing? I know this is a difficult one. You might have to Google, you might have to think a little bit more. And Sarah will join us with the first 3 answers. So the first 3 people having the correct answer, they are the winners of the day.
Yay!
So in the meantime,
Yay!
while we let everybody think, let's see.
I see some correct answers. I'm so happy. That makes me feel good.
And you know what? This is so smart how everybody pays attention because regenerative medicine. So now
I mean,
just
honestly,
heard it out. Is such a new area of
it is
medicine
new.
that it's not like, oh, urology or dermatology. And so it's like a no-brainer. This is, you have to think a little bit about it.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's a new area. But you know, it's funny. So I don't know about, I have in my family, I have what is called alopecia. And one thing I know a lot of people have learned about it is through getting the PRP, which is when you spin the blood and you take out the platelets and you inject them into your hair to help you grow hair.
For me, interesting, but I
Yeah,
did not
a lot
know
of
it.
people
I
have
don't think a lot of
sometimes
people
people.
know.
Yeah. So, but
And
yeah,
do you get good results?
I beg your pardon?
Do you get good results from it?
Yes, but it all depends, like everything else. You have to pick who's the right candidate for these things. And for me, that's why my practice is called a method, is because it's not never a one-tier thing with me. I combine it with some dietary and I might recommend some supplements, or I might recommend actual medicines because there's some new studies that support hair growth and such. So it's always you have to, what I love about this? Again, this is our synergy, because my medicine is bespoke, meaning it is customized to you. There is no cookie cutter in my practice. There's just none. That's why
we're all unique.
I spend a lot
When
of
it
time.
comes to
And
medicine,
everyone's body is different. How you respond, how you feel psychologically, what you do, how you do it, your understanding, blah, blah, blah. And the thing about Promois, again, another synergy, is it's customized skincare. It's customized to exactly where you are on the very day, in the very environment. And it's
for your elderly, for the
exactly, it's custom to you and where you are and what you need at that time. So it's the ultimate, couture runway.
And just complete authenticity and transparency to everybody. I am a patient of Dr. O, and I can just say I get a very customized, being always everywhere, and she's just amazing in making sure I stay healthy and strong in running this company. So I am one of her, every patient of her who absolutely loves and adores her, but she's really an incredibly good doctor because she's also, so knowledgeable of so many different parts of, the body. And so, because, as you said, it works all in harmony together. It's not like one thing. You just treat the one thing. You think about, your diet. What other stress levels do you have? Do you have any other, there can be often, something is wrong here, but it comes out in the other way. So you always, kind of really investigate. She's kind of like a doctor detective.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
So let's see. We have a couple of really more questions. And we have here a really good one from Rachel. Which products have SPF? And the answer is none. And the reason for that is SPF should be used intentionally only because it expires within 2 hours of application. And most SPF, when it gets tested for its efficacy, they put a big layer on the skin in the clinical testing. You'll never put that much ever on your face. When you buy a product that has an efficacy of 30 or 50, you never really apply, most people, I don't say everybody, but 99% of people don't apply enough of it. And then, it becomes like a 20 or a 15, and it's only for a very limited time. And then, efficacy already goes down, and within 2.5 hours, it's completely gone. So there's a wrong sense of security when you put it in a daily moisturizer, that really its job is to keep your skin all day hydrated, all day moisturized, all day enforce your skin barrier, and smooth, flexible, balancing your lipids, your oils. So that's it's two different products that have two different functionality and way of how it works. So that's why SPF is not important more. And you see it more and more being taken out of, many products that come without SPF in it, as it's so limited. And then just recently we learned that everything we knew about, how a sunburn is caused is now actually found out that there is much more to it and works different than we thought. And that will also affect how new SPF products and after sun products are developed.
Exactly. I think that's the most important. In fact, was it last year or a year and a half ago, that huge Harvard study, and I think it collaborated with Oxford, that looked at the use of SPF in beauty products. Remember that was a thing?
Yeah.
Well, and everyone was like, oh, I have SPF in my cream. Well, it turns out that unfortunately, people who relied on that actually had a higher incidence of skin cancers.
Yeah. Big study in Canada did this. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
It was a wrong sense of security. So yes, you should put SPF when you're out intentionally and give you that protection as well, of stay out of direct sunlight when it's really, when the UV level is high, the UV index is high, be under an umbrella that has that sun protection materials. There's so much developed in clothing materials and in outside furniture that you can use, if you put on an SPF, it has a little bit of a different name, SPU or something, that, clothing that keeps you 100% protected from the sun. That's the best thing you can do. That's better than any SPF and everything else. You have it already, in your, golfing clothing, as an example. Most golf shops only have, because you're 6 hours outside on the greens, They have only shirts that have already that new material in it, where you are protected from it. So there's many different ways from it, and and here we have Maui Gigi telling us, when I started using Pour More, my psoriasis stayed off my face. Oh my God.
Wow.
Great. It was really harmonized and balanced, but it was starting to get by my eyes. So be very careful, I guess, about that. What you say?
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. Just helping with that barrier again. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really, look, I mean, the big theme here is what? Hydration and skin barrier protection, right? The whole skin barrier's job is to keep us hydrated, keep our skin, our bodies, that's its job, is to regulate our temperature. So if we get too hot, we sweat, right? That's its and and to keep that barrier intact. So that's why this pour moi is harmonious. It's like I say, it's a ballet. It's a I love ballet and dance. It's just a perfect symphony.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just saw that Maria was saying, thank you so much, for answering. What is a good cream? And, you have to see if it works for you, because, that is a medical condition. But as we just
Exactly.
heard, making it stronger, the barrier, it worked, for our other friend. But, that's
Maui
Maria.
Gigi.
Yeah, what you want to do is, exactly, Maui Chichi. I love the name.
I know, me too.
It's so cool.
Yes, but a lot of times we don't, it's not really about the cream. The cream is
So
the
you changed
consequence.
it by the weather, and that gives you the
Exactly.
harmonization.
Right.
So Maria, we're going to make sure we send you the day creams, and we're also going to send you the, the raindrops are in the moment sold out. We're not going to have it, but we're going to send you the smoke alarm drops for pollution. Pollution is for sure, smoke pollution is not good for, for you for sure. And to try this. And what happened is that, it protects you from any kind of smoke pollution. So even the smoke coming out of cars in the city, wildfire smoke, somebody smoking, cigars or, cigarettes. There's so much, the today's skies are still very smoky. We're trying to get the smoke out of our environment, but we're still, a couple of years away from that. And here we have one more question. So, and then we're going to have Sarah tell us who the winners are. You want to read that, Iffie?
So yes, in December, I bought the 4-piece customized by climate. I also bought the tropical cream due to recent travel. Lucky you. Wish I was traveling with you wherever you went. I do love the creams. Is there anything else that would be good for me to have, knowing that too many products overwhelm me? Right, I'm in Twin Cities, woohoo! And learned about Pruma. Well, just Twin Cities Live. We love that. Wow. Well, I mean, Ulli should take this question, but I will say, it's very important to understand that you don't want to be overwhelming. So you want to feel comfortable, and obviously you're comfortable with the creams. So that's a wonderful start, which also have anti-aging ingredients in them. But to me, the big benefit behind the hydrating balancer and the serums is all of that delicious anti-aging stuff. That's how Ulli's hands turn from age spots to looking like, a kid.
Like my 40-year-old daughter,
I know, it's crazy. So I would say you don't want to overwhelm, but, it's kind of like anything else. When it really works, you're like, yeah, that's how I'm going to make this from now on. Like, when you're cooking and you're like, wow, I really like the way this tastes. Once you start doing the hydrating balancer with the serum,
it's easy.
You're just gonna. It's not going to be hard. I don't want to overwhelm you. And maybe you just start with the hydrating balancer. Hydration is everything. And the hydrating balancer, it helps to draw in all the good stuff, and that, the creams seal it, lock it in. So maybe start with that. I love my hydrating balancer. I use it. I use it So the other day, okay, I shouldn't tell you guys this because I know you like think I'm so like clever and smart, but let me tell you what I did. So I was sending off a package to one of my patients who was traveling, and I promised her I'd send her. And I took the tape and I put it on my lip to hold it there, to seal the package. And I took it off my lip and I ripped the skin off my lip because, of course, it's 2 degrees outside here in New York.
Yeah.
Well, today it's 50, but it's usually really cold. And so my lips were so dry. Anyway, it was so painful. And I was holding. Guess what I did?
Put the hydrating
I
balance
had done
on.
this before in the tropics when I burned my lips when I was on vacation. I did the hydrating balancer and a little dot of the serum.
Yeah,
No
the
joke.
white serum is amazing for lips.
It
Yeah.
was insane. And I was giggling to myself. I'm like, hee hee hee. It's like this, it's like secret sauce,
Yeah. And,
So anyway,
and the white serum has some extra vitamin A, some extra retinol in it for the repair of all of this. Works different than the retinol that, you use at night for, the collagen building and, repair in your dermis. But, the white serum is just fantastic. And now where spring comes, that's the right cream for,
right.
being in Minneapolis, Chicago, New York. It's also here in California. We have more humidity in the air. It's fantastic. So we come to the hour. We're going to bring Sarah in. Hello, Sarah from Seattle.
Hi,
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
wow, it looks so pretty where you are.
It's pretty right now, but it has been dark and drizzly and gray for like 3 days. I was talking with Ulli earlier and the sun was shining in. And I literally was saying, what is that? I haven't seen that.
She was shocked. What is this? I haven't seen the sunlight in so long.
Exactly. So we have 3 winners. Very excited. And just to remind everybody, everyone's internet connection is a little bit different. So what you see on your panel of who answered what first is different than what someone else sees. So we always go by what I see. And these are the 3 winners: Kathy Sander, Shirley Shelley, and Candace Nyberg. So congratulations. Make sure that you send us a message through Facebook. Use Messenger so that I can communicate with you, and I need to know what day creams you would like, and then we will send those right out to you, and you'll get a tracking number and the whole thing.
Oh,
yes.
Yay.
So make sure you write us, because what we found out is that sometimes the setting of your Facebook doesn't allow that we contact you, and then you're waiting for us to contact you, but the setting, and sometimes Facebook just changes setting by itself. So please, all the winners, reach out to us, either support@pourmoreskincare.com or message us. We are here waiting to get the gifts, and then we also send it to Maria because we're so happy. Maria is cancer-free and good. And now at the end, we have here Rachel, who, you were right, Dr. O, she actually froze off some. It was not for the cold with the ice fishing, so I was wrong. You were right. So she got some suspicious, spots frozen off the face. And the spots that didn't heal have to be biopsied. So, I guess, Rachel, you haven't gotten the results back. So we are praying and hoping for you too. But whatever it is, you're going to be okay. And, we are here also to support you and be, part of our, Pour More Love that we have, and wishing you all the best. I saw another that you said you were terrible about sunscreen. And again, I don't want you to blame yourself, because it's such a limited, product that nobody understood for decades. Not even the people in science understood that it didn't give you long-term protection. So please don't blame yourself for it. In some way, it's kind of like a Russian roulette that, other people didn't really, it just can happen to anyone,
Thank you so much for sharing too, because it's really kind of you, because I think what you're doing is hopefully everybody who's on this and people who will be watching this over the days and weeks and months to come will realize that the way to win is detection. So, you
Yeah.
are going to your doctor, you're getting your skin checked, as one should do regularly. So I think your story is so important. And I'm sure somebody watching or listening is thinking, you know what? I should do that too. So you've really
Yes.
just done a wonderful, wonderful, given a wonderful gift to your
And it is
Kumar
Women
family.
in Science, this month. So let's be smart. We have all this amazing science and advances, and there's no better country, no more advanced country in the world than the United States. This is the best treatments here. I'm coming from social medicine, so I can tell you for sure that while sometimes people think social medicine is a great thing, it's not. The care is the very best here. And I see it on my parents now who live in both spaces, and they are now in Arizona. And my mom, being over 80, were not treated in Austria correctly. And now she is they live in Fountain Hills in Arizona. And I went to the doctor with her. She was so in pain. And Dr. O advised us of where we had to go and help out with that, pain management. And she was completely treated. And I mean, it's day and night. And, we were saying again how lucky we are here, and how amazing and privileged we are with having the best care. So please, please, please take advantage of it and create that good relationship with your doctor and call it out and say, hey, I want to have you lower it. I'm worried and I want to make the tests, I want you to worry for me as well when you don't feel like they worry enough. And most of the doctors will hear you,
Yes. Yes. You're here.
Yeah. And here is, I think that must be one of your patients, because she's so right. A fellow patient, Claudia, said, Dr. O treats the source. Yes.
Oh, that is my tagline. Yes, I don't treat symptoms, I treat problems. And, that's the thing, about listening, right? And hearing somebody's story is really understanding what is really the origin, right? Because if you can treat symptoms forever, and you just won't get better.
Yeah. And listen, we have here a very interesting question. Does Dr. O do virtual consultations?
I do. All doctors do. And I love it. Consultations are my favorite thing.
So, Rachel, we're going to make sure, maybe Sarah, you can put up Dr. O's information of her practice and, send her an email and make sure to say, you are a poor more friend.
Yes,
I'm
make
sure,
sure.
there is special love that comes from Dr. O
There is special love.
to the poor more family. We say, Phyllis, that Dr. O actually educates people, takes the time and educates. And that's so wonderful. Well, this was such a wonderful Facebook Live.
Yes, I loved it so much. I
Yeah,
miss everybody.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to start doing them much more regularly. So look out for it to really educate everybody on what Pour More is, how you can implement it. You can ask questions. Dr. O is a licensed physician. She has decades of experience in regenerative medicine. See, that's how new it is. That's why I thought it was such a good question. Understands how, this is how she joined, why she joined us, to really educate our, consumer, but also the industry as climate adaptive skincare is coming in, to, how the body really works in this different environments and how it tries to find balance and harmony, and how we can really help. And then the benefit are extraordinary results as well, strengthening this barrier, makes your skin,
Makes your skin like this.
inflammations and all kinds of stuff better. Yeah.
I used to have cystic acne, people, in my 20s and 30s. No joke. Like I was that person that you looked at and you went, because it looked so painful. So that's why I'm so happy to be able to go like this. So I'm not
Yes.
showing off. I'm just like, you don't understand. It's life-changing. It's life-changing.
Well, with this wonderful thing, we say goodbye to everybody, sending all our love and light. And, as always, thank you so much for being a loyal customers. We're never going to take you for granted. Dr. O is big part of Pour More, and so is Sarah. We are all in for the long haul. So you will see us. This is not a company that changes around very quickly. So we are committed to deliver the best products, the best results, and the best information we can, and keep you up as, things are changing and moving and shaking.
Thank you, Ulli.
Bye-bye,
Good night, everyone.
everybody. Good night.
Bye, everyone. Be well.